Hey there and welcome to another video. My name is Hugh, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you a device that not too many people know about, and I learned about from Walter Peters, my podcast co-host, and he turned me onto it and I started using it and I really like it and it's very useful. So I'm going to share with you what it is, how it works, and how it can help you improve your trading mindset. Alright, before we get started, remember this is not medical or health advice. This is just my experiences with this device. Okay, so this is the Neurophone, and we talked about it on our podcast way back. I think it's been a couple years now, but this is a device that I discovered through him. And I'll give you a little bit of background on it first, and then I'll show you how it can be used in a practical application, because a lot of the videos out there kind of just show it in terms of some kind of airy-fairy ideas, and I want to show you some practical applications of this. All right, so this device has gone through several iterations. It was initially created to help deaf people hear, and it was invented by Patrick Flanagan a long time ago. I forget when it was invented. And Patrick Flanagan actually passed away in 2019, which is unfortunate, but he has left us this fantastic invention. So the early ones were created to help deaf people hear, and he proved that to the patent office that his device did in fact work. And he made several iterations along the way. Now, this version of the Neurophone is not designed to help deaf people hear. This is the second to the newest version, and it's still in production. There was a newer version that got launched, but it didn't really take off, and it's not in production anymore. So this is the newest version that you can get brand new. And this version is not designed to help deaf people hear. It is designed more to help you balance the left and right hemispheres of your brain. And when you can do that, according to Patrick Flanagan, that increases your intelligence. You can learn things faster, and it helps with meditation. Now, what I'm interested primarily in is the learning aspect and increasing intelligence. So he claims that his daughter used this device, and she went from a C/D student to an A student. And then there's another guy who claims he learned a language entirely using this device. He didn't go to any classes. He didn't do any studying, at least while he was awake. And that's how he learned the language. So I have no way to verify that information, but I'm going to be sharing my experience with it and how it has helped me. Okay, first of all, let's take a look at how the device works. So it's just a little box like this. It uses a 9-volt battery in there, and it eats batteries pretty quickly. So if you're going to get one of these, it's advisable to get rechargeable 9-volt batteries, because then you don't have to keep replacing them, and it can eat one 9-volt battery in a night. So it's much more cost effective to get the rechargeable ones, and then that way you can keep reusing it and reusing it. You don't have to buy new batteries. Now, on the side here is a volume switch, and that determines how much volume or how much of the signal from this device is going into your head. And you put on these little transducers on your head like that, and you keep it there, and it sends a signal from this device into the metal plates here, and that goes into your brain. So that's the volume, and then there's an on and off. And on the top here, there are two plugs. One is for the out, and then that goes to the transducer. And if you want to just use it like that, that will help balance the signals on the left and right side of your brain, and that can help on its own. Now, if you want to plug something into it, you can actually plug in a recording, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. You can plug in things like what this guy did with the language learning. He plugged in language learning tapes. You can plug in affirmations. You can even plug in music, and that can help you do different things. So what I've used this primarily for is to reprogram my subconscious. So as you probably know, your subconscious is responsible for most of the actions that you take during the day, but it's actually very difficult to figure out what your subconscious is doing. So in order to reprogram your subconscious, you just have to either go to the subconscious directly, or you have to consciously say an affirmation or something that you want to change, and that will eventually hit your subconscious. Now, one way to directly program your subconscious is to use subliminal tracks, and that can be effective. It has worked for me to a certain extent, but the problem I found with that is that number one, you never really know exactly what they're saying in the subconscious tracks, and sometimes the wording isn't quite right for what you're trying to do. And the second thing is If the affirmations are not in your own voice, I found that there can be some resistance there in terms of making changes in your own life because it's coming from another voice, especially if it's a female voice and you're a male. There can be a little bit of a clash there. So what I found as the most effective thing to do is to record an affirmation in your own voice. What I do is I put it into a little phone that I have here. This is an old phone. It's not very useful for anything except playing back music, and it's great for that. It's very small, so I use it for that. Now what I do here is I record into the device. Let's say that I want to become better at following my trading strategy, so I'm going to record a positive present tense affirmation saying something like, I am a successful trader who follows his trading strategy. And that will go into the device, and I'm going to use a playback app, something like VLC Media Player. That's a great free open source media player that you can use, and you just set that on repeat. It just keeps on repeating. And then what you do is you plug that into the in jack on the Neurophone. So you plug it in like that. And then if you don't have a headphone jack on your phone, you can buy an adapter from Amazon. They're pretty cheap. They'll fit both iPhone and Android, and you just plug that into the USB port or the Lightning port, and that will create an adapter that will be able to plug into here. So once you do that, then you just plug in the transducer into the out port, and then you put this on your head, and you wear that while you're sleeping. You can use some sort of an eye mask and attach it to the eye mask, or a beanie or a cap or something like that will keep that pressed against your head. And what this does is it sends the recording that you recorded through the Neurophone and into your skull area, and that will start to reprogram your subconscious. All right, now you have to remember with this type of stuff, when you're trying to reprogram your subconscious, you have been programmed one way your entire life, right? That's been your default programming, and that has been drilled into you over how many years, all the years you've been alive, basically, right? So when you're trying to reprogram your subconscious like this, you can't expect it to work overnight. It might take weeks, months, possibly even years. So you just have to stay on it and see if you notice any changes. And if you do, then keep going. If it's been a few months and you don't notice any changes, then maybe change the affirmation, or maybe this isn't a device that will work for you. Now, in my case, it's worked very well. I have noticed the effects after a couple months usually. It just depends on how ingrained that existing behavior is, right? And how much resistance you have to change. So if there's a lot of resistance to changing that behavior, then it's going to probably take longer. If there's less resistance, then it's not going to take as long. But for me, I just work on one thing at a time, and I've noticed results in about 2 to 3 months if I listen to this almost every night. And then I wake up more refreshed when I do use this device. Obviously, sometimes I forget or I don't use the device, and I won't get the benefits of it, obviously, that way. But when I do use it, I do notice that my behavior changes over time, and a lot of times the next morning I will feel better, or I'll feel more like doing the thing that I want to do as opposed to my old programming. So if you've hit a psychological roadblock in your trading and you really want to change something about not only your trading behavior but your everyday life behavior, this could be something that would work for you. Obviously nothing works for everybody, but this has worked very well for me, and it has worked well for other people that I've seen testimonials about this device. So if this is something you want to try, all the links of the things that I mentioned are in the description below. I've also included links to some videos on Patrick Flanagan talking about how this actually works, and some testimonials on how this has helped people. So this is a device that I haven't heard any other trader talk about. So if you like this information, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe and hit the bell if you want to get more information like this. And thanks for watching.